Welcome to the Iron Self podcast, where we jump into health, fitness, mindset, and becoming the best version of yourself. Today with your hosts, Mike and Kayla Minion. Welcome back to the Iron Self podcast.
Morning, guys.
On today's episode, we are talking about reactive behavior.
Reaction! So, let's start out with a little bit of a definition. What is reactive behavior?
So reactive behavior to me is the behavior pattern where we didn't really have a plan and oh my goodness, and I'm just quickly going through the motions to do something. So for me right now, my reactive behavior on prep is going to be like, oh my God, I'm starving, quick grab or something, and like turn into Kirby and just throw it in my mouth. Reactive behavior for somebody else might be, your kid does something and you say something that maybe you didn't mean to say.
Yeah, a great one for reactive behavior is if your spouse plans something, let's say on a weekend, and you would plan maybe to do your workout on that Saturday morning. Not that this happened. I'm just using it as
I'm trying to think back
in her brain, like which Saturday? No, but I'm just saying if your spouse or partner plans something for your family and you don't know that for whatever reason, and then you had a plan to do that week, your workout first thing in the morning, but now you can't do that. Well, now you might be a little bit reactive throughout your day and, kind of switch that focus a little bit from how you would plan to start your day to now how your day is going to go. Just reacting to a situation.
So when does this normally occur?
When you don't plan your life.
Yeah, I like to say it usually occurs to me when like shit hits the fan, when like life feels a little bit stressful or you're going and it's busy and there's not a moment to stop and breathe. That's when I see a lot of reactive behavior. The other time that we see reactive behavior is when people are drinking. Like, no, it's true. Like when, like you have these goals and then you go out on Friday night and you start drinking with your friends and all of a sudden it's like, I don't care about my goals. Reactive behavior. Yeah. So usually those are kind of the times when we start to really see those reactive behaviors jump in.
So now in both of those times, the old 5 Ps kicked in, right? Piss poor planning prevents proper preparation. 6 of them. Anyways, if you don't plan for it, you're not going to be successful. So it's very true with both like drinking and again just not planning in general. So if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Beautiful saying.
And end episode. No, I'm just kidding.
Deal. But no, it's 100% true because that reactive nature really takes us off of our game plan. It takes us from being able to plan our meals, plan our workouts, plan our lives, right? This isn't just about health and wellness. This is about our lives in general. When we don't have a solid plan for getting our kids out the door in the morning for school, getting their lunches done, getting them changed, getting everything ready for them, if you just let your kids come downstairs and you're like, figure it out, that becomes a reactive morning because now the kids are stressed and they're trying to get their stuff done, and now you're stressed because you're trying to get them out the door and make sure everything's ready for them last minute instead of having that planned and prepared the night before. So really, this reactive behavior can be for any aspect of our lives. It's not just a health and fitness thing. It is everything. If you are reactive in the morning and you get up late because you decided to hit that snooze button the 3rd time and now you're in a rush to get out the door to work, now your entire morning starts as a reactive chain reaction.
Yeah, well, okay. If we think about the stress response in the body, that sympathetic response that goes through our body,
fight or flight.
One thing that people often don't realize is the top 2 vertebrae in your spine actually go out of alignment to shunt blood away from your prefrontal cortex in your brain. Your prefrontal cortex in your brain is your thinky part of your brain, your logical part. And I mean, I don't know why Mother Nature decided that, hey, under stress, we don't need logic. But
survival, baby, let's go.
But if that is this is what actually on a biological level takes place. We shunt that blood away from the prefrontal cortex so that there's more blood that can go to our hypothalamus and our amygdala, to
alarm center.
Their alarm centers, to say, hey, we're under complete survival mode right now. Attack. So if this is what's going on and that logic goes out the window, well, of course I'm going to grab for that bag of chips because my logical brain isn't working. Now I have an excuse. It's amazing.
Or chocolates.
But the thing is that most of the time this reactive behavior is taking place in a stress pattern, right? And so having plans, like Mike's already saying, if you're failing to plan, you're planning to fail. Having a plan to support you under these times of stress. So whether that be bringing your awareness back to some sort of breath to help center your energy back into the present moment, being very diligent with maybe a mindfulness practice in regards to a body scan, or maybe you're doing a circle of control. What is it that I can control right now? That pausing, just simply pausing in the present moment and practicing maybe some gratitude to bring you back to, okay, I don't need to be so reactive. Okay, I got control over this. I can do this. I'm just going to, you know what? I was late. We're out of normal routine. It's okay. Nobody's going to die that we're late. We will just be late. So just allowing yourself to accept what is and then make logical decisions going forward. But we can't make logical decisions when we stay in that reactive state, in that stress state, because it's survival mechanism. It's like deep rooted in our reptilian brain. Like we have no control over that deep rooted survival mechanism. So we need to plan to set ourselves up for that. Say you decide, okay, I didn't prep lunch today. I'm on the road. Oh my goodness. And the reactive behavior that you normally would have is I'm going to go through a fast food restaurant.
Hit up the Dons, yep.
Right? And so then what are you doing to help set yourself up for success? Because you don't want that reactive behavior. We already know we can address that this is the reactive behavior that normally takes place. Well, maybe I know a different restaurant that I could go to that is going to be more whole food based. Maybe I have snacks prepped in my center console that are like non-perishable, kind of like nuts, seeds.
Can of beans.
No, there's no cans of beans in there. But nuts and seeds or protein bars or granola bars, whatever that might be, that you've already got in your center console of your vehicle because you know that there's a chance that you're going to have that reactive behavior. Maybe you stop to grab a bottle of water from a convenience store because you know that you would rather just have some water now and delay and have a bigger meal when you get home.
Yeah, so it sounds to me like what you're saying is that even on the days where you are being reactive, if you have a backup plan, then you're not really leaving yourself out to lurch, if that makes sense. Like you got to figure it out. The shit might still hit the fan, but I have a way to get away from that. I know what I'm going to do in these higher stress moments.
Yes. So I call them fallback plans. So we have a fallback plan for our nutrition.
We have our primary, we got our secondary.
We have a fallback plan for our workouts. We have a fallback plan for stress, and stress is felt differently for each person. I will often have clients bring their awareness back to their breath. Did you know by simply taking your hands and placing them on the left side of your chest over your heart, taking a moment, noticing your breath? Can you feel your heartbeat? Can you breathe inhales and exhales through your nose? Well, as soon as you do that, maybe 30 seconds there, it calms your nervous system. What actually happens is that your body starts to elicit oxytocin. Oxytocin,
it's like getting a hug.
It's like getting a hug. Oxytocin is the love hormone. It makes us feel good. It makes us feel connected. Our body elicits that oxytocin when we bring those hands to our heart and we find our breath and we just start to breathe for a moment and start to tap internally and check in with our body. We got that feel good and we start to relax. We start to come out of that stress state. Might only take you 30 seconds. If you can do that, you will be that much more in control to step forward and go, I'm going to do this behavior instead, rather than being reactive and saying things you don't mean, eating things that don't fit your goals, going through behavior patterns that don't support the version of you that you want to be or that you want to show up as. Like, these are all things that take place because of reactive behaviors. So what we're saying is having a plan for success, a fallback plan, whatever that might be, plan A, B, C, D, E. Maybe you even have a plan F. I don't know.
But, plan F is a fucking no.
Yeah, plan F is, yeah, that's it. But having these plans is going to be what's going to help you take control over your behavior and really start to be less reactive and more proactive. If you're ready to make a change in your life, step into the best version of you, check out our Iron Self Transformation Program. Find more info on our website, www.ironbodycoach.com.
Yeah, so and that's where we want to say is like that sweet spot to be is that proactive. So taking a look at your entire week ahead of time, and then planning for the things that might go a little bit askew. So like for Kayla and I, we have a bunch of our transformation programs going right now. So we already have all of those call times blocked out. We already have our Monday mornings blocked out for our client feedbacks, because this is what we know that we have to do for our business anyways, to make sure that our clients are still seeing the success that they always see. And on top of that, now we have to schedule in our in-person clients. And then on top of that, we have to schedule in any classes that we're teaching, and then anything like soccer's coming up for the kids, and anything that we have to do with the family too. So for us, it looks like scheduling the entire week ahead of time. So then there's less chance of going into that reactive state during the day. Now, one thing that needs to be said is that there are inevitably going to be things that come up in your day-to-day life that will force you into that reactive state. I mean, you can't plan for absolutely everything. You could think everything is perfect on your schedule, and then all of a sudden it's like, my kid got sick, or my kid fell off the slide and broke their arm. Whatever that looks like, now your plan might have to change a little bit. But this is where those backup plans come in. Plans A through F, as Kayla said. So really like, but it's true, right? So really making that, effort to plan out the weeks, especially if you want to build success in your weeks. It doesn't have to be every minute of every day by any means, but having a general course for each day and how that's going to look really helps you bring more success, and it makes stacking habits towards your goals a lot easier if you do have your days planned. Now, if you just come in willy-nilly every day and you're like, oh, I'll get towards my goals, we're not saying you won't hit your goals, but there's a much more direct route towards your goals, and it does involve that little bit of planning. Now, it doesn't have to be done, but it definitely makes it a lot easier.
Well, people like to be in control and to feel in control. And so when we feel in control of our direction, of our path, that can come back to scheduling. That can come back to having a routine. And when you don't feel in control, you don't necessarily make choices that are going to put you closer towards your goals. So coming back to that circle of control, what is it that I have control over? What is it that I can do right now? Maybe right now, all I can do is take myself out of a stress state through breath and getting enough water, hydration in my body. That's what I can do, because life is just so chaotic right now. And then by doing that, I'm going to make myself a healthier version of me, and I'm going to have healthier thought patterns. Like, there's so much more that goes in with that. And then when I'm not so stressed out, maybe I have a little bit of extra time to go for a walk in nature, because being in nature helps me de-stress. Like, whatever that is long term, that's going to help you feel more in control and help to step outside of that reactive behavior. That's going to help you hit your goals that much faster.
Yeah. And one other thing that I did want to mention too is for everybody, we are all big kids at heart. Lots of people don't want to admit that, but you got to make time for yourself too. So making time for your goals, great. Making time for your family, fantastic. But you do need that time for yourself too, whatever that looks like. Some people play sports. Some people go and get pampered, get their hair, makeup, nails, whatever done. Massages, taking time to do your yoga practice, whatever that is, but making sure that you do schedule time in for yourself with those de-stressing techniques too, to really just help your weeks feel successful on a personal level as well. So I didn't want to make sure that we missed that.
Yeah, no, that is really important. That self-care routine compounded with everything else, so that it doesn't feel like we're just living to survive. We are living to experience life and to really, you only get one life. So why would you want to live in this constant survival state, I guess is what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And so one of my biggest techniques I wanted to make sure to share is that, like Mike said, you can't plan for everything, but we do often have things that are a regular occurrence in our life that we'll see a behavior pattern shift with. And so when you have those moments, then you can go, okay, this is what I'm going to create a fallback plan for. So I know that, hey, summer's coming up. I don't necessarily know what week I'm going to go for a barbecue with some friends or anything like that. But I also know that I tend to engage in reactive behavior when that does take place. So what can I do to set myself up for success? Well, I'm going to pack food. I'm going to, pack drinks that will support my goals. I'm going to share my goals with my friends, and I'm going to create plans A through F for whatever reason, so that I have all of these different fallback plans to take place. And then I know that going into it, I know what my success will look like.
Yeah.
So I think that's really important. Anyways, thank you guys so much for listening to today's podcast. I hope you got some value from this. I hope that it helps you in your journey to accomplishing your goals.
Have yourselves an amazing day. We'll see you next time.
Bye for now.
Bye, guys.